Hey, poetic people, it's Wanda from the Slam Poets Society. It is Friday, so you know what that means. It's time for Friday Night Mics, and we are super duper excited about tonight because it is Men's Night. That's right, my brothers from other mothers. If you hear any noise, it's just the boys, the men of poetry, bringing their deep thought and deep voices your way. Sharon, would you please tell the people who's in store tonight?
Hello, everyone. I'm still jamming with my sister Wanda. I know she already greeted you all, but you know what time it is, right? It is spoken word time. Tonight is Men's Night. The brother's going to bless us the whole night. On the mic tonight, we got our brother Micah Parker setting it off. Then we have our brother Ashley Hoover. Then we have our brother Kevin Smalls, our brother Keith McBrown, and then our brother Analysis just closes out the whole thing. Sit back, relax. We have something good for you. Thank you for coming back again. It is spoken word time. Bless you.
Some folks say crying is bad, but I think quite different. See, my tears aren't just evidence of my pain, my mistakes, my failures, my heartbreak. My tears are evidence that I outlived my pain, outlived the mistakes, outlived the failure, even the heartbreak. See, I'm cleansing my soul through my eyes, so that my blindness is turned into light and I can see a brighter day. See a day where I'm not the topic of discussion. See my smile coming back. See my confidence restored. Tears are falling, but the garden that's called my life is being nourished. And while I can't remember every tear I've cried, God knows every one of them by name. I'm crying right now, but my tomorrow has been promised a visit from joy. And when morning comes, my tears will be different. My tears will have purpose. My tears will say what my heart can't. I'll be free. I'll be strong. I'll be me. Got a Kleenex?
This is called The Congregation. I never thought that I would have to pay to park to see the congregation. If you don't make it through the gate in time, the full lot sign greets you instead. I walk the parking lot, noticing others escaping their vehicles also. We all walk in synchronicity, bundled up because the hawk is out and we don't want it to bite. We get to the entrance and leave our offering, paid in full at the door. We find our way to our carriage. Some select to stand while others sit, no matter how small the fit. All denomination, classes, and races represented, paperbacks, newspapers, smartphones, and sleep seem to keep this melting pot together, if only for a few minutes in any weather. I seldom see the same people day after day from the congregation. Laughter, snores, talkative folks, friends, and family find their way to this place somehow. I would venture to say that loud outbursts of the woman talking to herself is just the absence of her medication she didn't take, or the cursing of the crowd of youth that enter is just the absence of their faith. No one seems to notice me noticing them in this crowded congregation, but I pray. I pray hard for what I see on their face, for some were their emotions there. To my Bible readers, we nod, exchange a glance at our good books and smile. I offer benediction to all as the congregation increases and decreases with each stop. Some barely make it to the service because of the crowds, the doors closing announcement, and even the morning drink of alcohol seems to permeate their souls. But who am I to judge? I leave them headed to work, realizing that this is just a glimpse of a congregation that travels, gives away, and never receives. Wouldn't it be nice to be a member of this congregation? If so, meet me on the metro.
Hello again, my name is Reverend Kevin Smalls, and I'm happy to join you for this Friday's night poetry gathering. Raise your hands if you're sure. In the beginning, the darkness that surrounded me was a womb. In the end, the darkness that surrounded me was in a tomb. The womb held together life, the tomb held together death. Either way, I've been to both, as my name is Lazarus, and my life and death was hazardous until I met him. My story is found in John, written in days long gone, but our plight is still here. Zoom in to this tomb and you will find more than just doom. You will find my mistakes. That's how tombs operate. They keep in front of you in clear view the stretch of life's gone bad, life that ran out before bridges could be built, family histories that landed on a quilt, not sewn together, its square pictures scattered over the whole with I love yous never told, embraces too cold to enfold. I hate this tomb. That reminds me of my mortal gloom. This tomb has no ventilation, and all of life's horror seems to have reached a wretched destination. Its misery causes me to wonder, is there any delivery from this body of death? This grave that stings seems to have victory over my good intentions to be right. I need an extension, but from whom? From where? And just then I heard a voice that hushed every other voice and brought me a choice, an unheard of choice, to rejoice as I am called out of the moist room we know as a tomb. Called from the tomb to re-enter the womb that leads to being born again, not by flesh and blood, but by spirit and love. Nicodemus couldn't get this because his cozy tomb had windows, and God knows if you spent 4 days in death's days, you can only welcome a way out without any pout-designed face. That's what he gave, a way out, accepting me and my scent to a new fragrance called grace as the old fragrance went. Before this call, I stayed in the tomb 4 days, wearing death's cologne and sporting death's clothes, but I see why he is the real thing. He brought me out, Jesus did, so he could go in and fight the plight that comes with sin. He alone could win a 4-day battle in 3 days. I came out of the tomb still wrapped with fashions from the grave. But when he came out, he left his clothes there, neat and folded for death to remember him by. Bye to death, hello to life where the strife is o'er. In 3 days he changed my permanent address and location from dreadful tomb to a big Easter boom. I can now resume life like never before, so I take the score that I didn't achieve and cross the goal line that only his blood could weave. So we today no longer have to worry about our odor because resurrection brings a deodorizer that cleans the air. So raise your hands because you are sure that you are elected, sure that your soul is protected, sure that your life is resurrected, sure that you will no longer be neglected by evil's dark infected affection. But now today you are smelling as sweet as the rose tucked under your nose for that sweet sniff. No longer stiff are you, but flexible, thanks be to God's ultimate crumble of death's lingering funk brought on by that sinful skunk called just try it, and it won't hurt, and it will feel good, and God won't mind. All of those tomb building statements, life abatements, and death offering fake candy, not peppermint, but life meant to be peppered with candy too hard to swallow and too sour to savor. So today, I raise my hand because I am sure that this Easter brings the ultimate cure. So open the door and let the light in. This tomb is not my home, and this fate is not my date, but resurrection has come, and Jesus is new, my new housemate. No mistake, I am a believer. So raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're sure. So raise your hand if you're sure. Get a little closer. Don't be shy. He did die, putting an end to death's lie. Raise your hand if you're sure.
You ready?
Yeah. I blamed everyone else. I blamed everyone else, even the folk not around me, for the way my heart felt. I mean, my excuses ran deep. Because every single day I had something else to say about how I could not sleep. I tossed and I turned because of you. And I ended up on the cold, hard floor time and time again because of the things you put me through. I couldn't laugh or smile, and I gave away my power. Mostly because my haters had me circling the block 59 minutes out of an hour. I was a grown man crying all day. And I was a part of the adult-only club, looking for love, even though my inner child was the only one with something to say. You see, I was the one who said I couldn't compete. friends. And I was the one who said I couldn't beat my feet, and it wasn't necessarily because I didn't hail from D.C. It was because I gave up on living. And since nothing could ever accept the fact that God gave me another chance. God gave me another chance. It's because I gave up on living. So I became disappointed in the way life treated me, which was the way I treated myself. For nobody actually put me on the back burner. I chose to climb that shelf myself. And as I stood on the tip of a pitiful ledge, looking over the edge, I had to finally be true to what I didn't control. And so I began to sing Eric Benet, I hope you can love me when the pain is gone to my own soul. You see, I had to figure out how to walk again. And when I acknowledged the part I play in my own happiness, my eyes got that spark again. And I started to talk again. I started to say everything my hurt did not want to hear. And I started accepting my conclusions because I was no longer afraid of fear. I pointed myself in the direction of the places I now wanted to be. And I sized up my situation and served my reality a cup of tea. If you think I'm better now, well, then you're absolutely correct. And it's not because my backstabbers let up any, it's because I put my own issues in check. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not riding off into the sunset, but I'm riding a more beautiful path. For I finally emptied out my pockets, my bags, and my hands, because I got a whole lot of joy left to grab. Let my experiences be a lesson to those of you who blame everyone else. Because if you don't take full responsibility for your own existence, you may very well destroy yourself.
So everyone was on a rainbow high, caught up in the swirl of all the colors that were to and fro evenly, dreamily, promising you and me that society would be as it should be, that we could all play together on life's playground and that everyone would play real nice. Thing is, we got played real nice. Let ourselves get caught napping so heavily that the dream got blurred and the wisdom of the dream weaver got obscured, and in our grogginess, we miss how much our dreams been abjured. Out came decree that we should be vigilant and heed his warning sent from the court of a Birmingham jail and scribed in Why We Can't Wait. But it seems we waited things out long enough to let the enemies at the gate attack our royal sage, assuaging us by promoting him to demigod and thus demoting him in his prophetic power. We nod, dozing as the still hateful world has us join hands and say, I have a dream, while ignoring the edgier incisiveness of the dreamer. You see, their scheme was brilliant. Have us happy for a holiday and placate us with a few morsels of rice while right in front of our eyes they continue to feast on elaborate systemic racism and extravagant economic exploitation, discarding justice as waste for disposal, washed away with a watered-down view of Martin, a sad reality in the supposed dream world. Reality is, you don't hear them holler in support of our support of black dollars. With stealth, they suppress the wealth ML wanted us to build, undercutting our understanding of the Ujamaa and his calls for unified action. You don't hear abundant accolade for his address of April 4th, 67, a year to the day before a bullet sent him to heaven for denouncing the hell this country raised in Southeast Asia. They'd rather keep us dreaming in Fantasia than for us to wake up, knowing that it's time to break silence. Public perception is stuck on the steps of the memorial, memorialized, i.e. dead, or so it would seem. Thus, I have a dream, deferred. Not that I'm not proud of that spectacular speech in front of that crowd. Indeed, it's good to see the props our leader and elder so deservedly receives. However, we're deceived if we think his fuller message of equality is fully believed or such is even close to having been achieved. So be careful of hollow hosannas and loosely thrown laudations. Not everyone who says of him, Lord, Lord, wants to enter the kingdom. Still, for a few days every middle of January, we get inundated with effusive exclamations and empty exaltations about keeping the dream alive from a society that continues to kill it. keeping itself exempt from any responsibility to fulfill it, while those non-exempt from being the other work hard with no benefits or privileged status. So while the privileged deify the drum major for justice, they keep folk dragging their feet to the drone of a conformist beat that drums into our heads a dumbed-down version of the radical strive toward freedom he led us on. Of course, we do have MLK boulevards across the urban landscape. Some in areas so horrific that the honoree would cringe at the dishonorable conditions he sought to eradicate. He would hate the under-resourcing of many schools bearing his name. Elementary inequities and line items and allotments helped create a secondary education so exiguous of equal footing that the erudite ecclesiastic would eschew the eponymous engravings upon the edifices. Yet, when we declare our continued concern about our continued confinement to a lower caste, we are condescendingly told, "Oh, that was cute. Now run along and play. We have more important things to do, like control the wealth and build our empire. Why don't you go build a campfire and sing Kumbaya, my lord? Just don't come around here." My lord, I wonder when we'll be free at last from falling for the false reverence these felons feign to offer the reverend, fronting just far enough to finagle our favor and force their fingers into our fortune. Unfortunately, the chaos in our community accommodates such fraud because we fail to focus on where we go from here. He said, "I may not get there with you, but we as a people will get to the promised land." Seems we've landed on promises. Settling for a promissory note from a nation that promised us a story denoted by justice, but instead wrote more bad checks because we still don't receive much credit in this union. So here's a reality check. Our dream is the oppressor's nightmare because sharing the power and the purse scares them to death, and so they make sure we stay asleep deep in REM stage as they stage peaceful scenes for our matrix, making us think we've made it and that Martin's work is done. Everybody was on a rainbow high, caught up in the swirl while those who have no love for the beloved community loved watching it crash low. We better act like we know. The only way our dream will become reality is for us to wake up and get real. And somewhere through the haze, a prophet still points the way forward. Maybe we'll get the point and keep moving. I'm known as Analysis, and that poem is called Dream Fade. Please follow me at Analysis the Poet. I will tell you about my book and my venue and other things happening. And during these horrible virus times, I hope and pray and wish the best of health for you and your loved ones.
Wow. Just wow. Wow, that was amazing. I thank God for my brothers in this poetic ministry and for how they share with us from their deep gifting. I thank God for each and every one of you. Thank you for coming back again and again for the Slam Poet Society's Friday Night Mics. Come and join us again next week. It's 8 o'clock every Friday night. We just enjoy bringing this your way. We do it because we love you. We do it because we love poetry. We do it because we love God. And we pray that you are safe, healthy, well, and blessed. Have a wonderful night.
So we told you, right? We told you the brothers had something special to bless us. We thank God. We thank God for all our brothers tonight. Thank you for blessing us. Thank y'all for tuning in. I think this is week 6. Thank you for coming back again and again. Don't forget, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend. It's spoken word time. You all have a blessed and peaceful week. May the Lord guide you, bless you, and give peace and healing all over your home. Thank you, bless you. See you next week. Spoken word time.